Hi there, this is Lori, and in this video I'm going to try to paint a blue poppy in 15 minutes or less using alcohol ink. And what I have here is I have a piece of paper. It is the backside of Kirkland photo paper. I've taped it down to a board so that I can rock it and get a nice smooth background. So this was a challenge in the Make Time to Create Art group on Facebook. They also have a YouTube channel here. I'll link to it in the description below. But so the challenge is every week they come up with a prompt. They pick randomly from a select number of photos, and you have 15 minutes to paint it in whatever medium you use. Well, mostly I use alcohol inks when I do my painting, so that's what I'm going to do here because that's what I know. It is going to be a challenge for me because usually when I paint, I'm so detailed and so tight with it, and this is going to force me to really loosen up and see what I can do. So let's get started. I'm going to start off with some mushroom, and actually I'm going to turn on my timer here because I have 15 minutes and I want to make sure, okay, timer's going, that I do this in under 15 minutes. No pressure. So the background I want to have is a gray. So they gave us a picture to look at and then we paint it. And the background on that was gray. Well, some of the grays I have actually end up turning like a blue tone, which probably been okay on this one because the poppy is going to be blue. But I like mushroom a lot, so I'm using mushroom. And I'm going to add a little bit of blending solution here to get it flowing. And this is going to give me a more of a, like kind of like a brownish mushroomy type background. But I'm just going to rock it back and forth real quick to get myself things flowing. I have a little twizzle stick here that I like to use when I do these. So I'm going to just go ahead and help that along, make sure I get good coverage over the entire paper. So this is a kind of an uncommon color for this, but I do like mushroom a lot, and so I wanted to also keep it a little different. And so I'm just letting those inks flow down here. And that takes a little bit of time. Let's see, do I have my blower nearby? Usually it's in my way. But anyway, it's not here right this second. I can't put my hands on it. And so I'm just going to actually use, I have a little fan here. I'm just going to use that to kind of dry it a little bit faster. Because I only have 15 minutes. And it doesn't have to be 100% dry. I just don't want it flowing anymore. And I think what I am going to do is I'm going to take this as the top and this is the bottom. Okay, good enough. I am going to start off with a little bit of sailboat blue. And let's see, I'm just going to drop a couple of drops around here. And I have some isopropyl alcohol right here in a container. I use that usually to spread the inks. So I'm kind of letting this bloom just a little bit here. And I'm going to take one of my filbert brushes, make sure it's clean. I got ink from the other project I was just working on. And I'm just going to go ahead and just kind of start making some petals here by pushing this ink around a little bit. And I'm not worried about the center yet. I'm going to lift that out so that it'll be light colored. I'm going to clean off my brush a lot on my paper towel. I just want to make sure I have some fun little edges here. So I'm kind of wiggling my brush around on the edges. And let's see, I have a little bit of a weld palette here I can pull some into it. And I'm using sailboat blue here, but I'm actually going to switch over to glazier. Put a little bit here in this palette here. And use that a little bit too. I want some of these to actually kind of overflow one another. And I also want to do this very quick, so I have some petals going in the background and some in the foreground here. I kind of like the way that's shaping up. Looking pretty good. Some shadowing over here. So one of the things that I noticed when I looked at the reference images, it had some little veins in it, and so I could get really detailed with those if I wanted to, but I'm just gonna kind of just pull them in and make them kind of abstract-y. That's really what you kind of have to do when you're working this fast. Okay, I'm liking that a little bit. Now what I want to do, I want to take my round brush, this is a round number 5, and I'm just going to clean it off in my alcohol here, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop one little drop here in the center. Let me get a piece of paper towel because I like to do this as it blooms. I'm going to dab down and lift. Dab down and lift. And see, I dropped a little bit here, but I'm not going to worry about that. I'm just going to kind of just blend that in. Come back and add more if I need to. That's kind of one of the things that you deal with alcohol ink is it's so reactive, and that's a good thing. It also can be challenging too. Okay, just stay in place there. All right, I'm just going to get the bones in on this thing, and then I will come back and add detail. I think I want to go ahead and draw a little stem in, so I'm just going to lift that out here with my brush. And maybe there's a bud or two, something over here. Good enough. How are we doing on time? I still have 8 minutes. I'm doing pretty good. It's when I get to those little details that I get bogged down into that it becomes a little bit of a challenge for me. Okay, so we're just gonna leave that be for a second. I'm gonna work on the center, and for the center, I'm going to, let's see, what can I do with that would look kind of neat? I think I will actually come in with some eggplant. Just dab in the middle a little bit, just a tad. And then I'm going to take some yellow, or actually, you know what? I have ember out for a project I was just working on. I'm going to use that, and I'm going to take the ember and put some stamen around it. The ember's sort of an orangish color, and I kind of want it to dry out in my palette a little bit so that I can control it a little bit better, because I don't want it super wet, and I like to test on my paper towel just to make sure. And then all I'm going to do here is start coming in and just tapping little dots all around this little center. That's good enough. I want some white space in there. And then with the clean brush on here, I'm going to sort of tap into the center here to just give it some dimension. Just keep going a little bit, and I don't want it to keep exploding out to the other stuff, so I'm kind of drying it a little bit with paper towel, and I can come back in here and grab a little bit more of it that I have here on my palette and tap in. So much fun. So that make time to create art is something new that was started by Beth Kluge, Kelly Chassie, and Kimberly Dean Lang-Lewis, and all of them are amazing alcohol ink artists. I should say mixed media artists, because they all dabble in a number of different mediums, just like most of us. And anyway, they started this fun new little challenge every week, and this is actually the first week I've been able to make time to create art. But I'm so happy to have time to do it. So if you guys see this, definitely go and check out their new little channel they got going. It's so much fun. It's a great way to build community. I always like that. Okay. So So you can see that my ink had not dried up very much here, and so I'm dealing with a little bit of spread, so it's not going 100% the way I want it to. But with alcohol inks, that's kind of the way it works, and sometimes it evaporates, and humidity plays a big part in the whole process. So, you know, don't get upset. You get what you get, and just keep going, because you'll come up with something really nice in the end. Once you lay in everything, I need to find some green. I have some green in a palette that I have here, and I'm going to actually go ahead and do my stem. So I'm just going to paint that in. I think this is limeade that I have in here. Let's see, for this one I need to, let's put a little bit of a yellow spot right in there. Maybe a little green in there, a little red, orange in there. There we go. Just need a little bit of, and this one is, the petal's gonna come around here a little bit. You need a really dry, clean brush to do this. So. Good enough. Okay, I have a darker green in the palette here. I think, I'm not sure what color this is. This could be evergreen. I'm just going to come on one side of it and just give it a little bit darker shadowing. We're going to assume the light source is coming from over here a little bit. Doesn't have to be exact, but I like to add that for a little bit of extra dimension. Okay, so far so good. Looking fun, and we have, only 3 more minutes. Okay, well, it's just time to work on details then. So now what I want to do is I want to come in here and just add some depth by adding some darkness around. And so I have my glazier dried out my palette, so I can come in here and just kind of paint in some dark areas. And lift out some light areas, like right around the edges. This over here looks like it's a little bit too dark, and I want to give it some dimension in there too. We need a little shadow over here to make this one pop. Okay. Blend that out a little bit. Okay, and if I have do I have a Posca pen here nearby? Because one of the things that I like to do is add, yeah, I do actually, I have one right here. Come in here and add in some squigglies to give it some highlights. Now, if I was creating this and I had another hour or two to spend on it, I would spend another hour or two on it, because that's just kind of what I do. But at least this is going to give me something fun to share with you. And I can say I spent time to create art this week. My time is up. Okay, so this was fun. So this is what I was able to do in 15 minutes. Quite fun. What I might come in and do is just add a little more greenery around the bottom. But this is the done painting. I hope you had fun watching. Thank you, Beth, Kimberly, and Kelly. This was fun, and I'll definitely be doing this again.